All gathered here today for the same reason, to demand that Congress uphold the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, specifically Section 3, that states that an insurrectionist cannot be president. And if you have any doubt that this guy is an insurrectionist, you should come out of the cave that you live in and get a supercomputer in your pocket like we all have, because all the information's out there and it's undeniable. I'm going to try and be quick, but I want to say three things. I want to have three messages to three different groups of people. I'd like to have a message to MAGA. I know that they're not here in person, but I'm hoping that maybe that you'll stumble across this on the internet. And then I want to have a message to my fellow Democrats, and then a message to Congress. And my message to MAGA is, I know that you love this guy, but he doesn't love you back. I know that you think he does, but I promise you that he doesn't. He's already putting forth tax policies that will raise your taxes. Unless you make more than $360,000 a year, he's going to raise your taxes. They're already getting rid of American jobs and giving jobs to people that don't live in this country. That's not something I necessarily rally against, but I know it's something that you've rallied against. And they're breaking every promise they've made to you. He told you he didn't know anything about Project 2025, and he's hired every single person that wrote it. Everything this guy says is a lie. He's cheated on all three of his families. So the fact that you think you can trust him is hilarious. And people like me aren't just out here because we don't like him. It's not just that I just don't like the shade of orange that he puts on his face every day. It's not that. It's not that I just don't like that he has a horse's tail as a haircut. It's not that. It's more than that. I believe wholeheartedly, because I've done the research, I believe that he's compromised. I believe that he is compromised at least by Russia and maybe by other foreign powers as well. He negotiated an oil deal with Russia and Saudi Arabia that was arguably the worst oil deal in the United States history. And very shortly after that, his son-in-law got $2 billion. And I know that MAGA really likes to talk about how Donald Trump didn't take a salary. It's like, well, you don't need to take a salary when your son-in-law is getting $2 billion from the Saudis.
Right.
He took millions from China while he was in office. He rented office space to Qatar while he was in office. If you don't know Qatar, they're one of the biggest state sponsors of terrorism on this planet. He's now appointing Pam Bondi to be Attorney General, and she lobbies for Qatar. Okay? This is not a guy who's a patriot. He doesn't care about this country. He doesn't care about you and your family. If you think he cares about your family, why would he cheat on all three of his? Right. This is a guy that lies about everything. Yeah. Everything he says is a lie. He doesn't weigh 215 pounds, and he doesn't win every golf tournament at his country clubs. I promise. And I know that you hate us. You hate me because I'm a liberal. And you think all liberals have blue hair and we're all Satan worshiping transgender vegans and we're going to take your guns and melt them down and turn them into rings for gay people to get married with. Well, whatever it is that you think, I support all types of people and their right to do and be and love and exist whoever and however they want to. That is not a liberal ideal. That is an American ideal. Yes. To support equality and to err on the side of kindness. Yeah. Yes. I got that from a guy you may have heard of named Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah.
There's a book about him, and you should read it. Yeah. There's also a thing called the American Constitution, and you should read that too.
Amen.
And you can't out-America me. I'm from the Cash Clan. We came here in 1665. Okay? And you can't out-Southern me. My dad grew up picking cotton and tobacco. He worked on a pit crew when they still raced NASCAR on dirt. My mom talks in tongues. My last name is Cash. I'm related to Johnny. He's my fifth cousin twice removed, whatever that means. You're not more American than us. You're not. And you're not tougher, and you're certainly not smarter. And let me tell you this, we're divided right now, and it's because of Russia. Okay? They want you to hate me and for me to hate you. They want to destabilize our economy with trade wars with our closest allies like Canada and Mexico. They want to destabilize our economy with tariffs and deporting our workforce and destabilize our military by firing very experienced and qualified 4-star generals.
Hear him.
They want to destabilize our military intelligence by appointing a Russian asset, Tulsi Gabbard, to the head of national intelligence. And don't take my word for it that she's a Russian asset. Her own party has called her that. Members of her own party, her former employees that worked under her, Russia called her an asset. Ukraine called her an asset. Everybody from Mitt Romney to Liz Cheney has called her an asset because she is. Now, why would an American president appoint a Russian asset to be the head of national intelligence? Who does that benefit? Does that benefit you and your small town and your family and your job? It doesn't. There's a reason all these things are meant to destabilize this country. And if you let this guy take our White House, it is the end of American democracy. And it's not hyperbole, it's a fact and it's a reality. And you need to listen to us so that you can do something now instead of regretting it later. Next.
Here.
Thank you.
To my friends in the Democratic Party, please hear me. Please hear me. Please stop getting in a circular firing squad and blaming each other for this election loss. Please stop saying that we went too far to the left and we should have talked about trans issues. First of all, nobody really talked about trans issues. Second of all, it is our obligation as Americans and as Democrats and liberals and progressives to honor other people, to give space to other people, to support people's right to exist. Trans people aren't the ones appointing a Russian asset to be the head of national intelligence. Trans people are not your problem. Rich people, powerful, evil rich people have convinced you, while 60,000 people die in this country every year from not having enough health care.
Right.
And they've convinced half the country that their biggest problem is a trans volleyball player 17 states away. And it's absurd. It's anti-intellectualism at its best. The only thing dumber would be appointing the lady from the wrestling channel as a cabinet member. We're doing that too.
Wait a minute.
But please hear me out, Democrats. Please stop blaming each other and saying we went too far left, or we should have done this, or we gotta beat Joe Rogan, and no, you don't. We lost, and I'm using air quotes because I don't believe it. That's up to you if you do. We lost the election because a foreign adversary spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on bot farms to bombard half the country with Russian disinformation, and they beat it into their heads to the point that Americans started to parrot it, from Joe Rogan to Tim Pool. We know Tim Pool was paid $100,000 per episode directly from Russian money to put out Russian talking points. Okay? That's a problem. That's not a fair election. Russia called in 78 bomb threats to swing districts during this election. That's not a fair election. Okay? That's not a clean election. That is election interference. So I'm asking Democrats, stop blaming your fellow Americans and start blaming Russia. Start blaming the people within our own government that are working for and with Russia. We are all playing basketball, and the Democrats are trying not to travel or double dribble. And Republicans are running down the court, and the ball is on fire, and they got nunchucks in the other hand. Stop thinking that you're going to stop lawless people by using laws. Stop telling me and the people here that we're crazy for trying to keep an insurrectionist out of our White House. They're crazy for trying to put an insurrectionist into our White House. The game has changed. The rules are no longer the same. Stop following them. Play hardball. All right? Yes. My last message is to Congress. Do your job. Uphold your oath. We know you. We listen to you on all the programs, on your social medias. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Jamie Raskin, Jared Moskowitz, all these people, Yasmin Crockett, all you amazing leaders with your amazing voices. We know you. We are you. You're like us. Listen to us. If you don't stop this, this is on you. The fall of American democracy is on you. You have to have a spine. All these people came from all over this country and others to be here today to show you that we have a spine and we have a backbone, and we're hoping that ours will be contagious and you'll catch it too. You have to.
There's a lot of us in the Capitol.
You have to demand. You have to demand. This guy is already disqualified according to the 14th Amendment. You have to demand a vote to remove the disqualification. You have to. That is our last best hope. And to the Democrats that think we're going to beat them in the midterms, I think it's adorable that you think they're going to let us have midterms. That's what I think. I think autocracy is on the way if we don't stop it now, today and Monday. I just want to say one last thing that I kind of forgot to throw in there, is that, you know, it wasn't just a couple thousand people breaking into the Capitol and pooping in Nancy Pelosi's office and breaking windows and causing $2 million of damage. And that's enough. That would be enough. But it wasn't just that. It was a coordinated effort between the Trump administration, Michael Flynn, the corpse of Steve Bannon, and all these other people. They're coordinating directly with the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys who cover their faces. That's how proud they are. Isn't that funny that they're called the Proud Boys and they're anti-gay? Because that's the gayest name I've ever heard in my life. The first time I heard Proud Boys, I pictured a twink like twerking on a pride float. But anyway, we should have thought that through, Proud Boys. But they coordinate with the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers to send these guys into the Capitol to physically get the electors. They wanted to take or sabotage or remove completely the electors, and thereby throwing the certification process off completely. So that was the more sinister spine of the whole thing, and the rednecks breaking windows was a distraction. Thank you all so much for being here. I know a lot of you traveled from far away. I know that it's really cold, and just want to say to everyone viewing at home, there's more that you can do. Even if you can't join us, you can donate, you can call or write your elected leaders from your state. But what's more effective than calling them or writing them is showing up to the Capitol and trying to put your letter in their hand. It's about 10 million times more effective. We need Congress to refuse to accept Donald Trump's electoral votes as not regularly given. That's what has to happen. That's what has to happen. And it's on you, Congress. We all came here with our backbones, and we need you to show us yours. All right? Do the right thing, and let's save our democracy.